Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the emergency stream. How's everyone doing tonight? What can I say? What can I say? What can I say, man? Let me check the audio. Good evening. Was I right or was I right? Was I right or was I right? I had a busy day today, man. I was at the beach. I was there with my secret family, my bastard kids. I was ready to have a great day. And then that was yesterday, right? And then at 3 a.m. I'm still up because I'm a night owl and I see what's going on and I go, damn, I don't care as much as Venezuela, but I still care. I'm watching this happening in Iran. I'm like, damn, dude, this is I was right. I was right. And so I went to the beach a little bit, and the bastard kids were playing around and everything. But eventually I was like, no, I got to get out of here. I got to get out of here. Like we got to go monitor the situation. And this is a pretty crazy story. How you doing, Mr. Elu? Were we right or were we right on this channel? Bro, AI Telly was all the copers go away. Dude, if you're a coper, if you're still coping over here, listen, I'm going to start off with this. I'm not Hassan or anyone over here, okay? I am very pleased to know that the invisible planes work and that I am a citizen of the United States. If I wasn't a citizen of the United States, I might be a little bit nervous right now. I might not be too happy. But I'm a citizen of the United States. So listen, man, whether this helps Israel or hurts Israel or it's bad for America, this country's unstoppable now, dude. This is the biggest bully in the world. We speak loudly and carry a small stick nowadays. But dude, I'd rather be on this side than the other side. All right? It's immoral. Dude, I don't care anymore in the sense of, would you rather be in Iran or in Cuba or in the United States? And I'm not telling you, I'm not going to give you some Western cope. If they could do it, they would do it. I'm not even going to say that, but someone's doing it. And I'd rather be on the side of the person who's doing it. So, And furthermore, I would say, how you doing, Efra? How you doing, Audio Vibes? I would say this. That Iran, I don't know how this is going to resolve, dude, but I really am not betting against what's going to... You know who I'm not betting... This is what I was going to say. I heard a few years ago, maybe like 5 years ago, from Peter Thiel or something, never bet against America. Never bet against America. Never bet against Netanyahu. That's how I've amended it and how I do it. Dude, I told you, man. I said it. I said, listen, Netanyahu is here at New Year's. They're going to do something in Venezuela, most likely. They did it. And that's because he wanted it. Listen, Netanyahu's here 2 weeks ago. The United States keeps moving stuff towards Iran. They're going to get Iran. This is just, the man cannot lose. He lost his brother and that was it. That's his whole life. He does not stop winning. And when people, dude, I don't even understand how you could cope here. I understand what Efra's saying here. I think BBC and Trump healthy turning for the worst and said is now or never. It's bad for everyone. There are no winners. But Efra, I would say this, where this is, dude, it's over. They killed Khamenei. It's done, and I don't understand the cope. I understand your anxiety. I don't want to call it anxiety, but like your questions, and I share those. But I will say I don't share the not from you, but for example, I saw Nick Fuentes angry. He's like, "Oh, this is bad. Why is it bad?" And I'm not asking you for Dave Smith morality. If you want to be Dave Smith, if you're gonna watch someone cry about stuff, if you want to go watch a grown man cry about stuff, I don't know why you would want that, but go watch it. Like Dave Smith, who loves to cry about war and shit. All right, I'm an adult, okay? I'm an adult, so I don't cry about... Dude, it's just the way the world is. The world is a savage, disgusting place. That's just how it is, all right? We're in hell. I always say it. We live in hell.
We live in hell. We live in the gutter.
And so I'm not going to cry about morality in this situation. What I'm going to say is this. You were against new wars, Nick Fuentes, Dave Smith, and I'm not even shitting on these guys. But what Donald Trump has been able to deliver is new wars, but at almost no cost. Almost no cost. I don't think anyone has died in the military adventurism of the Trump administration with the weekend wars. So I don't see how, even if you're like, no new wars, okay, dude, they're not doing new wars. They're doing new wars with technology. And they'll just drone strike you and then it'll be over. And they'll send, they'll defeat any country in the world. And furthermore, I understand people who hate Israel, and that's fine. But it is undeniable that now the Russians and Chinese have lost a very valuable petroleum ally, which, I mean, dude, I'm not one of these people who hates China or anything, but to the Americans, people who like, I guess, Dave Smith, etc., who don't like China, I think they allude to that, like that, you know, they're still libertarians, but they're like, we don't love China. Nick Fuentes as well. Okay, well, now China is significantly weaker. So what is the big deal? And then from the lefty point of view, it's crying. And, you know, I get it. They bombed the school. That sucks. Dude, it's, what do you want to say? If you haven't learned that this world is cold and evil at this point, dude, they like got rid of all the people in Gaza. They don't exist anymore. So, and you're going to cry about morality in this world? Where is it? What are you holding on to? So I just think it's incredibly silly to cope. I'm not trying to cope, man. I'm not coping because I'm a realist now. And I'm not a realist like Henry Kissinger or whatever. I'm just telling you the truth. I am an individualist who cares about my self-preservation, and this is the country with the biggest stick, and it can fuck you up. And I'm a citizen of it, so you know I'm happy. Let's see what Miss Relu had to say. Also a night owl. So you were up. I also woke up and saw the news in the middle of the night. Very cool. Very cool. Dude, I was like, there's no way. I was less excited because we need to talk about this, where the way they did this was so interesting. Where, again, another 3 a.m. weekend strike. But this is, I think Ro Khanna guaranteed this in a lot of ways with the whole Epstein drama. We had a very kinetic week about people yelling about Epstein and all this. And so they saw the opportunity to do this in a very, can you get really much more angry than you already were throughout the week with Ro Khanna doing the rabble rousing and all this crap? Not really. And you don't see a lot of protests today or anything like that. You see some protests of jubilation from some Iranians. Hope it works out for them, dude. I don't know if it will, but I hope it will. But yeah, so this is, Ro Khanna is responsible for this. And by the way, Gemini, my producer, asked it when this was going to happen like 3 weeks ago, and it said this date was the most likely date. Prated and Yahoo Mystery did. Admitting that is better than false humility. I agree, dude. This coping and Iran does, everyone wants to cope. I don't want to cope. Russia and North Korea are next. Russia already agreed to a peace deal. They already agreed to it today. So, how you doing, and everything? The leftist complaining is annoying. Trump went scorched earth. Dude, I don't even see it annoying. At this point, I'm really puzzled by the behavior in the sense of, especially people that have Palestine flags in their bio. I don't have a problem if you support Palestine or if you think, but I am looking at this conflict where you have lost everything that you have done. All of the protests in New York, everything you've done over here has not helped prevent what happened. Tens of thousands of people are dead, maybe hundreds, maybe millions. You have not done anything to stop that. So why do you insist on doing the same thing? All you do is complain. And we're going to look at Hassan. All right, first of all, let's start here. This is going to be a very loose show. We're going to do some boomer box. But firstly, I hadn't seen this. I was just, the UN is meeting. Let's see what Iran, I haven't seen this yet. Let's see what Iran is saying at the UN right now. Some crazy shit, dude. What a bunch of copers. Let's see what the cope is.
I have one word only. I advise to the representative of the United States.
In English, no less, in English.
To be polite. It will be better for yourself and the country you represented. Thank you.
The representative of the United States has asked for the floor to make a further statement.
Frankly, I'm not going to dignify this with another response, especially as this representative sits here in this body representing a regime that has killed tens of thousands of its own people and imprisoned many more simply for wanting freedom from your tyranny. Thank you, Mr. President.
I have one word only. I advise to the representative of the United States to be polite.
When you are asking the United States to be polite, dude, these people are idiots. These are the dumbest people to ever live. Seriously, man. And I can tell you this because I know these people, because the Venezuelans behaved this way under Chavez. These people are stupid. Be polite. Brother, they just bent you over a barrel and tore your asshole in half. What are you? Just, I can't understand what is going on in their heads. This is why it's so pathetic to me when, you know, I had everything says leftist, and I see some leftists and also some rightists, like some third worldist types, defend this stuff. This is indefensible. These are profoundly stupid people. These are stupid people. In the comments, like, oh, the U.S. is gossip. Fuck, these people are, they just killed your guy. Oh, good. Iran confirmed his death. Very cool. But now we have it official. They didn't want to say it for a long time. And I knew he was dead. And you know why I knew he was dead? Because, no, dude, I guess tailored to mine. I knew he was dead because they didn't show proof of life. Okay, here we go. This is more from the UN. This is what I want to see. You are the biggest pussies of all time, and you are not being forthright with information. He's dead. I don't believe you that he's not alive. I'm glad they're confirming it, finally. Efra says, but honestly, I think the Iranian regime is over. Iran did some interesting moves I first saw happening. Yeah, Iran did some of the, trying to close the Strait of Hormuz. AI Telly nailed it. I'm very curious, because you got me curious about it, Efra, what Turkey has done today. I don't know. Mr. Ilu says, they just killed your leader. Exactly. They just killed your guy, and you're going to cry. You're going to be polite.
For peace. As President Trump said today, and he spoke directly to the Iranian people. He said, quote, to the proud, great people of Iran, I saw tonight that the hour of your freedom is at hand. The entire world has witnessed the regime's wholesale slaughter of innocent civilians. The sad irony is that this same regime will attempt to lecture us today about human rights and the rule of law. Its presence here in this council makes a mockery of this body. But where the UN lacks moral clarity, the United States of America will maintain it. Indiscriminate.
I mean, he's no Adlai Stevenson, but holy crap, dude, this is pathetic. Look at this geriatric version. Yeah, just ridiculous, dude. You are ridiculous. You are ridiculous. I would advise you to be polite. Why would I be polite to you? You are an idiot. All right, let's move on. It's the UN. Effer says not over. I'm wondering what the next steps are too, Effer, because it seems like they haven't planned that out very well. But I think whatever is going to be done is going to be the satisfaction of Benjamin Netanyahu, and so they might keep the same people in place. I don't know, because killing Khamenei is it's like killing the Pope and the president together, right? He already assigned his successors, and I think some of them are dead, including his own son. The IRGC leadership seems to be gone. Some of the states still exist. I'm not sure if they're going to pull like a Venezuela and just tell you, hey, we need a new guy, but it'll be the same regime. But they, it was interesting the way they did this whole thing, because this was very coordinated. They also had, we're going to talk about that, Pahlavi came out with a video of a speech almost like a few hours after Trump's speech, which was very interesting. Let's look at that. Firstly, I had to, dude, when I saw this speech at 3 a.m., I had everything that says Trump execute Order 66. Dude, this speech here is crazy. Okay? Look at this. Look at how good this is. Okay? Look at this. I woke up in the middle of the night. Great set design. Okay? We have here balance. You know, we have both of the flags here. Very good. The white inside of the blue. The white inside of the blue. Down the middle. Kind of eerie and scary Trump here because we have the shadow coming in here covering his eyes. He's wearing a hat indoors. What color is the hat? What color is the hat? It's white. He's the white hat. And Khomeini is the black hat because he wears a black turban. Khomeini, sorry. Dude, we're literally in a Western here. This was a speech given by John Wayne or something. This is a John Wayne speech. He comes out, no tie, sheriff's in town. Or as Tucker Carlson likes to say, daddy's home and you're getting spanked. This was the biggest troll ever. This is great. Like, this is a huge troll. The white hat killed me. The white hat was, dude, what? This is literally a John Ford movie, what he's doing right now. I think only a boomer would think to do this. And so I started watching this and I was like, dude, this is a scary speech that he gave here. This is how I hear everything said. It was a video game cutscene. He literally says, it is your moment now to take up arms. What? This is crazy. Oh my God. How you doing, Jose? How you doing, APK? Jose says, the Iranian population has been more sophisticated than most of the neighbors in their regions. They've been dying to go secular and get rid of their backwards fundamentalist regime forever. Now let's see if whoever stays in charge decides to dig in their heels or accept the changes that people want. It's going to be really weird because most of the population that's left in Iran is highly religious, and the people that are outside of Iran are very anti-religious. They literally hate Islam. So, and Mr. Yu saying the IRGC, I can see the IRGC playing a huge role. How you doing, AMC? Khomeini picked the line of succession. One will take his place. I don't think so. He picked like 3 people, and I think 2 of them are dead that we know of so far. And Trump said he's going to keep bombing for the rest of the week. So I really don't put much stock in his line of succession, but appreciate that, AMC. Well, let's watch a little bit of this. This was crazy to watch. How you doing, Full Hat?
A short time ago, the United States...
By the way, they did this during Ramadan, of course, which we'll talk about. But also, I think it's Purim, which is like a Jewish holiday where they massacred a bunch of Persians back in the day. So, I'm not crying, dude. Like, this is not this was going to happen, man. Whether you love or hate Israel or anything, dude, this was going to happen.
States military began major combat operations in Iran. Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime, a vicious group of very hard, terrible people. Its menacing activities directly endanger the United States, our troops, our bases overseas.
And I think they shot this at Mar-a-Lago because this is where the whole operation happened. Dude, everything is happening 40 minutes from my house right now. Everything. This whole month, my mom's country's president kidnapped. That's 40 minutes from my house. This 40 minutes from my... But anyway, I think because this is what their setups look like over there. Unless, I can't tell if this is pre-recorded, Trump seemed to be a little bit like in a good mood when he went, because he was at a party and then he went to the Situation Room that they built at Mar-a-Lago for this. But I can't tell if this is pre-recorded. This was definitely coordinated with Pahlavi at least. Pahlavi was in on this, which I don't know for what reason. I don't think he's going to be very useful, but...
And our allies throughout the world. For 47 years, the Iranian regime has chanted death to America and waged an unending campaign of bloodshed and mass murder, targeting the United States, our troops, and the innocent people in many, many countries. Among the regime's very first acts was to back a violent takeover of the U.S. Embassy in Tehran, holding dozens of American hostages for 444 days. In 1983, Iran's proxies carried out.
I know people will be like, that's some old shit. Why was he bringing that up? I think partially that's 79. Trump was a young man at that time. He's born in 46. He remembers that, and all of the boomers remember that as well. They're like, dude, that was a time when Iran kidnapped our people. They tried to kind of engender some sort of anti-Iranian sentiment in young people with that movie Argo a while back, like 2012, re-bringing that event up. But, you know, this is not useless. It's not just, why are you bringing up old shit? Because they don't really bring up with Cuba the nationalizations in the 1950s, even though they are going to probably sue for that.
Out the Marine barracks bombing in Beirut that killed 241 American military personnel. In 2000, they knew and were probably involved with the attack on the USS Cole. Many died. Iranian forces.
I didn't know that Iran was speculated to have taken part in the USS Cole bombing till this speech. I didn't even know that was a thing. I thought it was pretty clear it was Al Qaeda. All right.
Forces killed and maimed hundreds of American service members in Iraq. The regime's proxies have continued to launch countless attacks against American forces stationed in the Middle East in recent years, as well as U.S. naval and commercial vessels in international shipping lanes. It's been mass terror, and we're not going to put up with it any longer. From Lebanon to Yemen and Syria to Iraq, the regime has armed, trained, and funded terrorist militias that have soaked the earth with blood and guts.
This is straight up Netanyahu talk, too. Like it is very, of course, through an American frame. Oh, thank you, Dane, for the super chat. I have nothing important to say, but MLS looks good this season. Thank you so much, sir. Can I ask, what is MLS? Are you talking about soccer? That's the acronym I know. Sorry, but I appreciate that, sir. Thank you very much. I'm glad you're enjoying. Yeah.
And it was Iran's proxy, Hamas.
Oh yeah. So obviously, this is very, very Netanyahu with an American twist. You know, the what is it they call it? Like the tentacles of evil that Iran has in the region. The soccer. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. I haven't watched any MLS. I might get into it. I want to see what the Inter Miami's doing. But yeah, this is what is Netanyahu's term for this, man? With the proxies they have in Iraq, Hamas, and the Houthis. He had a term for it, like axis of evil or something. That I want to remember because it's an important term. They use this stuff because it works. Fuck, dude. I don't remember. I don't even know how to look that up. How would you look that up? He has like a term for these three things that Iran can use. But anyway, it's annoying. For that's his proxies. No, but he had a better word for it. And I'm butchering it because Netanyahu probably has like the best speechwriters in the world. All right, whatever, let's move on. But yes, it's very Israeli coded through an American lens.
That launched the monstrous October 7th attacks on Israel, slaughtering more than 1,000 innocent people, including 46 Americans, while taking 12 of our citizens hostage. It was brutal, something like the world has never seen before. Iran is the world's #1 state sponsor of terror, and just recently killed tens of thousands of its own citizens on the street as they protested. It has always been the policy of...
Are there edits here?
It has always been...
Yeah, I think there's edits. I also was speculating, and there were a lot of people were, why is it that Trump said, hey, get out there and fight? And remember, Pahlavi put out an app that was supposed to let people register to turn against the regime that were in the army a month ago at this point, right? And they killed supposedly 80,000 people, if you buy that number. I don't buy that number. But they killed some people. We have to assume that the Persians killed some people during the protest last time. And a lot of Persians were saying, why are you letting people die? This doesn't make sense. But upon further reflection, and I had that same question, I really think that this is how they do a lot of stuff, man. They do this a lot, where before Maidan and Ukraine, there was also a massacre. Like, you need to have this galvanizing massacre in some context in order for the operation to work later. It's not in every case, but it also does explain this went underrated, but in Cuba they did a mass slaughter recently of prisoners. There was a rebellion, motin, in a prison in Cuba probably a week and a half ago at this point, and the Cubans sent people in and killed a bunch of prisoners. We don't know how many. They say a couple tens. We don't know. And I was here wondering, why is Trump talking mad shit about Cuba? He's going to inspire this kind of stuff. But I think you want a certain level of bloodshed before you commit to the operation, because you can, I guess, show people what's at stake. I'm not endorsing it or not endorsing it. I'm just analyzing it, okay? That's my speculation.
In the policy of the United States, in particular, my administration, that this terrorist regime can never have a nuclear weapon. I'll say it again. They can never have a nuclear weapon. That is why in Operation Midnight Hammer last June, we obliterated the regime's nuclear program at Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan. After that attack, we warned them never to resume their malicious pursuit of nuclear weapons, and we sought repeatedly to make a deal. We tried. They wanted to do it. They didn't want to do it. Again, they wanted to do it. They didn't want to do it. They didn't know what was happening. They just wanted to practice evil. But Iran refused, just as it has for decades and decades. They've rejected every opportunity to renounce their nuclear ambitions.
And again, here, I want to throw in these people, these Iranians, man, the leadership are straight up retarded, man. A lot of people, because I was very disturbed during the first Trump term when he killed Soleimani, right? I was like, dude, this is crazy. You're not supposed to do that. That's a higher up. There is an unspoken rule that you don't go after higher ups unless you're going to war, right? Because if you start picking off prime ministers, world leaders, leaders of the IRGC or militias or whatever, then it's going to change the way that warfare is conducted, and then they'll start trying to target your leaders, right? That was the first instance of the United States doing something like that. I asked Gemini about it and stuff, and it confirmed it. My producer did too. And now Trump has changed it completely, where now this is standard. Now it's go after the head of the snake. That's it. Go after the head of the snake and war the rest. That is stupid. We're just going to go after the main guys, which in theory is scary, because now that the rule has changed here, then the other countries will decide that they can do it as well. However, I'm not Judge Napolitano over here, and I don't believe in equal powers or something. These people are not smart enough to do it, in my view. They're not smart enough. They are not capable. The United States has technological advancements that they will not be able to fathom in countries like Cuba or Venezuela or Iran. I'm not saying, dude, I'm Venezuelan. I'm a first-generation American. And I'm just telling you, they can't fathom this stuff. So now, this standard of going after a leader, while it could open a Pandora's box, doesn't even matter. These people can't respond. They can't respond.
And we can't take it anymore. Instead, they attempted to...
I see Mr. was talking about how they were going to agree to not enrich a deal. If Iran wanted to survive, really, what they should have done is, when Soleimani was taken out, immediately send hypersonic missiles somewhere. And that's 6 years ago, right? When was Soleimani killed? 2019? 7 years ago at this point. And they didn't. Then they kept negotiating. This is like if you live in your house, not to go full Dave Smith here, you live in your house and someone shoots your brother. The house next door shoots your brother. And you say, let's negotiate. Why would you negotiate? Why would you negotiate? This is stupid. You would immediately strike back. But they didn't, because they're stupid and not capable. Dane says, just kidding, self-loathing Hispanic. No, I'm not even saying in a way of hating myself or anything like that. But look, the problem here is, let me show you this, all right? Look at what Cuba came out with yesterday. Okay? You're not going to believe this. Cuba came out showing the weapons that were used. Let me see this. Cuba weapons. Yeah, Iran confirmed his death 15 minutes ago. Perfect. They made, look at this. Look at this here. This is how the third world retard thinks, okay? Cuba comes out here with this propaganda op showing the weapons that were on board of the terrorist boat, the one that they killed the people on, okay?
Tenemos, por favor, coronel. ¿Qué es lo que tenemos aquí?
Bueno, aquí tenemos el armamento largo.
These are long-range rifles, right? And they have an AR-15. They have all these radios. They have, walkie-talkies, handguns. First of all, I don't believe you that this fit on a boat. I don't. Look, this is it. Oh my God, they have these rifles, and oh, look at this. Look at how many they have. It's so scary. This is why we had to kill all of them. Oh my God, look at their gear. Brother, let me tell you something. If the CIA is sending a boat to Cuba to kill you, if they're really doing that and you happen to take them out, it's not going to be full of a bunch of Bass Pro Shop AR-15s. It's going to have one box, a black box of something that you're going to go, I don't know what this is, and it's called the discombobulator or something. This is how they think. These people are so stupid. They think that what will save them is like rudimentary weaponry like this. And it's not. No one in the West thinks this way. This is, if you're from America, if you are in America, you know that this isn't insane gear. I'm from Florida. People have this in their backyard shed. It's not a big deal. But Cuban state media goes, oh, we're going to show this to our citizens. They're going to scare the shit out of them. Well, then you live in the 20th century, and I live in the 21st century. Because I see this, and I see you bragging about breaking up a hunting party, and you're a moron. And this is how Iran thinks. This is how Venezuela thinks. This is how Chile thinks, and Mexico. These are countries that, at the end of the day, what really explains this is Spangler, man. We are Hispanics, and I've broken through this, are wired like Muslims with a Magi spirit, with this spirit of like, we look for the lightness in the cave. We are, Catholic and all this stuff. The white man is a Faustian. This man is going to go to the moon. Like, I'm not telling you that makes him better, but I'm saying that makes it much more likely for him to beat you. Because while you're thinking about stopping AR-15s, he's inventing the discombobulator. And you're thinking, oh, God is on my side. Tengo un santo que me protege. I have a saint that will protect me. Dude, build the nuke or shut up and fall in line. You are stupid. This is Cuba, Venezuela, every country that is a Magi fucking, they are all stupid like this. They are all stupid like this. The United States is a country that is Faustian. And all that means is that they are constantly seeking to expand. And you can't wrap your head around that if you are still like pounded by terrestrial thinking, like and not even material. It's like sort of religious thinking of, oh yeah, the scariest threat to Cuba is a couple guys with AR-15s. What the fuck are you talking about? They heated up. We showed it on this channel. They heated up. The Americans went to Venezuela and pointed a microwave at people's heads and heated up their brain water, and it made them throw up blood. You could give Venezuelans, Iranians, 1,000 years, and they would not think to even think about that. They wouldn't. And I don't know why it is. I'm not hating my own people. I'm not saying this even makes people better than Hispanics or Persians or whatever. All I'm saying is that this makes it so that you are not going to win. You're not going to win. Efra says, so Kim Jong-un is not crazy. No, Kim Jong-un is the only guy who has thought this way. He'd be like, okay, the white man is going to fuck me up. I'm not negotiating. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to get a nuke. He respects that for now, so the discombobulator gets crazier. While everyone else is like, oh, God will protect me. Oh, this and that. All right, dude. Yeah, you can keep believing God's going to protect you. White man is going to show up with his boot and have it on your neck. And that's why I don't cry. I'm not like, oh, no, poor us or poor Persians or something. No, you are being retarded. You are being stupid. And if you're stupid, you deserve to lose. That which is falling must be pushed. All right. Continue. It's just true, man. It's just true. And there's no moral judgment here. I don't judge the white man for being this way. I think it's smart, actually. I think it also fills you with anxiety. And we are at the end stage of this civilization, like Western civilization, as Spangler said, and that's fine. How you doing, Eves? But look, like, one thing I never understood is why they're scared of China, right? Right? And they're like, if China could do this to us, well, we have to stop them before they can do this to us. China is going to destroy our crops because they hate us. And I'm sitting here with my like Maji brain, and I'm like, why would China do that? It doesn't even make any sense. They just want to make money. But the Faustian goes, no, they're going to do this because I can do it to them. And I don't know if, I don't think that that's healthy. I think that makes it very hard to live. But they keep winning, so who am I to tell them not to do it, right? It's just the way it is. Let's finish this and move on, man. Because we have to talk about who actually matters.
Build their nuclear program and to continue developing long-range missiles that can now threaten our very good friends and allies in Europe, our troops stationed overseas, and could soon reach the American homeland. Just imagine how emboldened this regime would be if they ever had and actually were armed with nuclear weapons.
All right. And it's more of that. I have more stuff we want to get to.
It's a very simple message. They will never have a nuclear weapon. The administration has taken every possible step to minimize the risk to U.S. personnel in the region. Even so, and I do not make this statement lightly, the Iranian regime seeks to kill. The lives of courageous American heroes may be lost, and we may have casualties.
This is great. And no one seems to have died yet, by the way. It's the fog of war. But this is what pissed people off, that Trump said, we are willing to accept your sacrifice. But it seems like no one died.
That often happens in war. But we're doing this not for now. We're doing this for the future. And it is a noble mission. We pray for every service member as they selflessly risk their lives to ensure that Americans and our children will never be threatened by a nuclear-armed Iran. We ask God to protect all of our heroes in harm's way, and we trust that, with his help, the men and women of the armed forces will prevail. We have the greatest in the world, and they will prevail. To the members of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, the armed forces, and all of the police, I say tonight that you must lay down your weapons and have complete immunity, or, in the alternative, face certain death. So, lay down your arms. You will be treated fairly with total immunity, or you will face certain death. Finally, to the great, proud people of Iran, I say tonight that the hour of your freedom is at hand. Stay sheltered. Don't leave your home. It's very dangerous outside. Bombs will be dropping everywhere. When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will be probably your only chance for generations.
This is a video game cutscene. It's like, do you accept the challenge? This is Tom Cruise, Mission Impossible. It's up to you now, soldier. Are you willing to do it?
For many years, you have asked for America's help, but you never got it. No president was willing to do what I am willing to do tonight. Now you have a president who is giving you what you want.
And I think that this is sandwiching with at the beginning when he ran through Iran, 79, the 80s when they did the Beirut thing, and the 2000s. He's literally shitting on Carter, Reagan, and Bush. He's saying no one was willing to do what I'm doing now. Fuck you, go do it.
So let's see how you respond. America is backing you with overwhelming strength and devastating force. Now is the time to seize control of your destiny and to unleash the prosperous and glorious future that is close within your reach. This is the moment for action. Do not let it pass. May God bless the brave men and women of America's armed forces. May God bless the United States of America. May God bless you all. Thank you.
All right. And yeah, I'm watching this at 3 a.m. and I'm like, what? And I was hoping, I was praying, can we get the Netanyahu one? But can he do it in the Lenny Bruce character he does, you know? I hope we get that when it's in English too. Like the one we saw for his corruption trial. He's like, I heard the Ayatollah's gone. Well, I ought to know. I told you. Like something like that, you know, he has to do the Lenny Bruce thing. Because it is ridiculous, dude. His speech was in Hebrew. It's not worth watching. It's very boring. It's very serious, Netanyahu. Versus, I like watching the Lenny Bruce one. That one's very funny. But all right, it was all true. It was true. All right. And here we have all the cope. You know, the cope. People mad. People mad. You're mad. All right, you're mad. Cool. You're mad. But guess what? He fucking did it. And that's it. All right. He did it and he won. What do you want to say? Guys, whether you love Iran, hate Iran, I'm a Bajalardian. I'm an analyst. I don't feel any strong emotions about this, but I knew he was going to win, and he won. So what do you expect? Everything says, if the U.S. Army was telling me to lay down my arms, I'm waving the white flag and snitching on everyone. I agree, dude. I'm not getting hit with the discombobulator. I am not getting hit with the discombobulator. My brain water is not going to heat up. I don't want to throw up blood. I don't want that. I don't want that. And let's see. Today, Ilhan Omar, this is what really has surprised me. Is the Democrats have come out and said stuff like this. Iraq was attacked by the U.S. during Ramadan, and it's sickening to know that the U.S. is again going to attack Iran during Ramadan. The U.S. apparently loves to strike Muslim countries during Ramadan, and I am convinced it isn't what these countries have done to violate international law, but about who they worship. Listen, man. I'm not speaking emotionally. I'm not talking about like emotion or anything like that. Like I'm not crying or, you know. What I'm going to say is this person is validating all of these people saying that she should be deported. I personally don't care. Personally, dude, you guys know me. I don't believe we live in hell.
We live in hell. We live in the gutter.
This woman here, this is insane. Why would you listen? One thing I don't understand about Americans and Dave Smith, all these types. The war started, dude. It's over. You get on board. How you doing, Eves? Or you leave or something. This half-measured stuff. I'm not saying to be a nationalist or anything like that. I'm just saying the war started. What is this debate? There's no debate anymore. People are dying. A school got blown up. That's it. It started. And you're out here typing this? And of course, it's not true. You can see here the community note that Iraq wasn't attacked on Ramadan. This is so silly, man. I don't know if Ilhan is purposely trying to get Muslims targeted here. Why would you write this? Guys, if you love Ilhan Omar, that's cool. Fine. All right. I don't care. I've said cool things about her too. I like some of the stuff I like when she wanted to fight that guy. I thought it was funny. Why would you do you think this is good for the Muslim community of the United States to say this? To say that you are attacking countries based on faith during Ramadan? This is America, dude. They're going to use every advantage you give them. The fact that the Iranians were more vulnerable because they were observing Ramadan makes them retarded. Maybe I'm too cynical because I'm a postmodern Catholic. let's say the Vatican was going to be attacked by the United States and it's Lent and we only have meat, I'm going to eat the meat because I need to fight the Americans, right? Why are these people doing this? You're going to stick up for a foreign, not only a foreign country, Iran. Listen, man, agree or disagree. Iran is an enemy of the United States. This is the caricature. This is the cartoon. And a lot of people believe it. In fact, most countries are sanctioning Iran to this day. The countries that Iran has friendly with them were what? Venezuela, Cuba, China to an extent. They weren't friends. Russia, they weren't friends either. And you're going to do this? All right. If you are fasting when you are going to be attacked with bombs, then you are an idiot. Sorry, I don't care. It doesn't make you pious. It doesn't make you smart. It makes you an idiot. I want to show you here, of course, the more cope. We talked about right-wing cope. Let's talk about left-wing cope. Let's look at Hassan. There's no such thing as a preemptive strike. Israel is striking Iran in spite of negotiations that the Oman mediators tried to publicize in U.S. media to avoid this exact outcome. Little did they know Israel gets what it desires, even if it collapses the West. Well, Hassan, I'm here. The West isn't collapsed, and they're done. So what are you doing? What is this code? This is, dude, how can you listen to this guy? All of these people, man, I feel like this show is the only one that's accurate on geopolitics. And I'm not hating on other people, but other people, whether they're lefties like this or more like libertarian, they're guided by principles and ideologies. And I'm over here saying, no, what is rational? What is real? What is going to happen? Israel is striking Iran in spite of negotiations. And what? They struck. The bomb went off. What are you doing? Do people like to cope? I don't like coping. I'm an adult. Dude, if I go to a restaurant and they serve me bad food, I don't cry. Well, it's kind of good. I say, hey, I don't like this. And I send it back. And if it's not good, I get my money back and I leave. Bunch of fucking idiots, man. Hey, let's look at Andrew Tate, the genius Andrew Tate. He posted this. Bro, this guy's an idiot, man. At 11:39 on February 28th. This is not a real war. Retweet this video in 48 hours. Let's watch it before he deletes it. Huh? Okay. Everything says all of a sudden Chenk's nephew cares about Iran. Dude, I don't get it. By the way, his dog died today at 3.
I'm going to make a prediction, and I'm going to post it now on Twitter, and this video may make me look stupid in a week from now. In a week from now, we could see a full-blown Middle Eastern war, and everybody can retweet this and mock me. But I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think this is all theatrics. I think this is bullshit. I don't think this is a real war. I think that we have some shrapnel from interceptors which has fallen inside of Dubai and caused fires, yes. But Dubai is not being bombed. Tel Aviv is not being bombed. Tehran is not being bombed. This is all global repositioning.
Okay, thank you, Andrew Tate. We don't have to watch the rest of the 5 minutes because the leader of Iran is dead. Dude, it's like this internet.
We live in hell. We live in the gutter.
These people, dude, they will just talk bullshit. I could have gone live in the morning. I didn't. I wanted to wait for outcomes. But no, I'm going to spit bullshit out. 5 million views. Nothing is real, blah, blah, blah. The Matrix. What are you talking about? You don't... Dude, on this channel, we've been watching AI Telly, which is feds or whatever, showing you the troop movements. Something was going to happen that was real. They wouldn't do this for no reason. They left the Pacific exposed. These people, bro, they are ridiculous. Ridiculous. Thank you, Andrew Tate, for your valid prediction. Let me reply. Wow. No, I gotta say something stupid. What do I say to Andrew Tate? You are retarded. No. What do we say, man? Fuck. I can't even be clever right now. I can't be clever. Oh, I got it. Wrong in less than 12 hours. What happened to seeing through the matrix? Fucking retard. Retard. Oh, leave me alone. Retard. Fuck you. All right. I want to show you this. This is what Dave Rubin posted. Okay. Dave Rubin is a nice gay man. So Dave Rubin put Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, Cenk Uygur, and Ilhan Omar crying. Tucker did say he was angry. Okay. He said this was disgusting and evil, if I recall correctly. I haven't seen Cenk or Megan's response, and we saw Ilhan's, obviously. But I do have a question. All right. And this is the question I've had from the start. We're talking about the Ayatollah. We're talking about this or that. We're talking about Tucker Carlson, President Trump, etc. Where does all of this leave Patrick Bet-David? Where does it leave? Oh, thank you. Thank you, Eves. Whoa. What did I do? $26. The Wicked Witch is dead. Huh? The Ayatollah is dead. Absolutely, sir. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate that. Really appreciate it, Eves. And yeah, it's just it's true, man. It's true. What are you gonna do? Are we gonna let the Copers believe that he's still alive or something? I guess, you know. But yeah, this is Dave Rubin is obviously happy. I assume that my wife Barry Weiss is very happy. But what is PBD? PBD should be the president of Iran. What is he doing? Let's see. He posted this. This is PBD, our Iranian intellectual genius. This is like, if anyone's of an immigrant background, this is very like humor that Chinese people find funny and Brazilians. This is AI slop. This is Unk slop here, man. This is thank you again, Eves, by the way. Really appreciate the super chat, man. This is Unk slop here, dude. This is but I think he had a statement. I think he had a statement. Where do we have it? Let me PBD podcast. Let me see if it's here. Oh, where is it, man? Let me look up his page. Posting Unk Slop. Very, very happy. PBD. Let's see, because he released one of these videos that he does. Okay. Oh, they're bringing it back. Look at it when he interviewed Netanyahu. Where is PBD, brother? Okay, I am going. Where is it, man? I thought I had it pulled up. Patrick Bet-David. This is this is probably the most famous Iranian in the United States. Here we go. Let's see what he has to say here. 3 minutes. Again, it's silly and everything, but again, remember, Patrick Bet-David he's 20 minutes from Trump at Mar-a-Lago. And I'm sure he had some sort of involvement here, being someone that has interviewed Pahlavi and Trump in the past, in terms of at least having some knowledge of the whole thing. Because this is an insider. This is a guy who's there, and he may be retarded, but it's literally true, dude. He is close to power, closer than you or I.
The supreme leader of Iran, Ali Khamenei, is officially dead. They killed him. They found his body. Reports came in. Let me tell you why this is big. This is not killing a president. This is not killing a prime minister. This is not killing a king. You're killing the supreme leader of a religion. This is number 2 to God. They killed. And by the way, the last time the supreme leader was alive, I was in Iran. It was June 3rd, 89 when he died. Khomeini, I was in fifth grade at a school called Gul.
All right. I don't think it's relevant to watch the rest. As you can see, he's very excited. Now, what I'm concerned about, a lot of people are concerned about, how is Iran going to respond and everything. Huh. Thank you, Eves. I posted wrong. My bad. I tried to send 26. Oh, okay. Thank you, sir. Really appreciate it. Very nice. Thank you. Is that some numerology 26? Thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm just wondering here. What I'm scared of here is that PBD is going to move back to Iran. And he's going to become their president, and then he's going to sign them up for some multi-level marketing scheme. And he's going to scam the whole country. Or he's going to train them to move abroad and scam the other countries. This is a scary guy, man. This guy's going to go over there and teach them the ways of the children of Yaqub. He's going to teach them some technology. And they're going to come here to America, and they're all going to start multi-level marketing schemes. This is my big concern here, man, because he seems very happy. Crazy, man. This is what you should be scared of, in my opinion. Patrick Bet-David is going to come out here. He's going to radicalize Iranians into selling you life insurance, and then it's over. All right. I think it's time that we go to something. No, hang on. I want to show you a bit more cope. 1 second. Let me show you this because I want to go to AI Telly, who released 2 things today that you'll find enjoyable. Let's see this. This is pure distilled cope. This is like the yummiest cope in the world. We've made fun of John Kiriakou a lot on this show before everyone else was doing it. I hate all of these former feds with the exception of Mr. Bustamante, right? But I want to show you, look, like these are feds that work for, this is Russia Today. This is Sputnik. It's the same fucking shit. This is some retired CIA officer. And my producer said it, and I tend to agree. What we have realized is that the people who get hired by RT and this stuff that are former U.S. intelligence, people that are dissidents and were in intelligence, they are probably just stupid people. They are people who were in the CIA and they were only going to be middle managers. And that's why they got thrown out. They weren't against torture. Dude, I want someone to ask John Kiriakou this. The reason he was against torture is because it didn't work. So if it did work, was he for it? These guys are all sociopaths. They're liars. They are trained criminals. So let's see Larry Johnson, who I've seen before on Sputnik. Let's see him cope here. Let's see him cope. All right.
I wish I was coming to you with happier news. This attack by the United States is unprovoked. The unprovoked, unjustified attack by Israel and the United States on Iran.
I want to interrupt really quick. This unprovoked thing. And I'm not siding with anyone here. I just want to be, this was not unprovoked. And you know why it wasn't unprovoked? The same way Maduro wasn't unprovoked. Why not? Because President Trump said that Maduro had fentanyl, and fentanyl was a weapon of mass destruction. And that's it. That's just it. This was not unprovoked. They were trying to build a nuclear bomb. Do you believe it? Is it true? Is it false? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So it's not unprovoked. When you try to argue on this basis of it's unprovoked, but they're saying, no, it's not because of this other reason, you're engaging them in their frame, and you don't have as much information or talent to go against that. You should probably attack the other claim. Unprovoked, man. I'm tired of this, bro. Go read a Scott Horton book if you want to read about unprovoked. It's always the same thing. Unprovoked, unprovoked, unprovoked. They use these words as if it's going to wish cast something. No, you lost. You still lose. Words have no meaning when there are bombs. All right, let's continue. It's just stupid. It was unprovoked. Okay, dude. Well, the guy's still dead.
Ranks right up in there in history with the attack by the Nazis on Poland in 1939, September 1st. And the United States, I believe, is going to pay a terrible price for this. They entered this attack thinking it would be short-lived, that we'd be able to quickly decapitate senior leadership, and then the war would be over.
Disgusting and gross. I mean, you should just be. I hate I don't like ugly, stupid freaks.
Shut up. How does anyone, you have to be a brain damaged libertarian to believe this stuff. How is it, okay, I get it. America's the Nazis. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, sure. All right. But now they're going to pay a price? What are you talking about? They killed the top guy. What are you talking about? Cope and cope and cope. I love eating cope. Cope is my favorite meal of the day. It's just cope and cope. Jeez, man, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. This is more grifting here, more grifting. All right, and Iran tweeted this from the Ayatollah Khomeini Twitter account at 5 o'clock when he was already dead. So I guess they're gonna make it like the Charlie Kirk show, right? Like he's gonna live on in AI. They might as well. They're Shia. I think it would probably allow for that because they're more fluid. Not Sufi, but they're more fluid than a Sunni. They tweeted this. We are not the ones who started the war. Okay, who cares? But as those who are greedy seek to attack us and harass us, the Iranian nation will respond with a firm fist. You are dead. What are you talking about? You're dead. Let's watch the video. Let's watch the video.
ما شروع کننده نیستیم. اما در مقابل اون کسی که طمع داشته باشه.
Why are you tweeting this in Spanish? I understand it's a Spanish page for Ayatollah Khomeini. He's Khomeini. He's dead. But why would you even use the Spanish page? Your enemy speaks English. You're wasting time. This is how they waste time making hype edits, hype videos like this.
حمله بخواد بکنه اذیت بکنه لطی ایران مشت محکمی بو خواهد زد.
These are the few strikes they got on an empty military base in Qatar, a couple high rises in Dubai. This is embarrassing, dude. This is embarrassing. This is like a hype edit that a paramilitary organization could make. Look, we had a bomb here and a bomb here and a bomb here. This is Hamas level publication. You are a country. You are a country and you're publishing hype edits of you hitting civilian buildings. With enemies so stupid, who needs friends? No, dude, this is an embarrassing country, man. This is embarrassing. Mr. Elu says for the Cubans. Yeah, I guess, right? They're doing it for the Cubans. I think it's also pertinent to show. We should show what Alex Jones is saying because I'm sure you're going to hear this a lot more. Let's listen to Alex Jones talking about how we're all going to die now.
I woke up at about 2 in the morning, right when the U.S.-Israeli attack, basically going to full war with Iran, began. And I've been up ever since then, really thinking about what I was going to say. So there's a lot of different layers to this. Most people are just down to, oh, we shouldn't have regime change. Oh, this, Trump said he...
We're not sitting through 8 minutes of this. He says that there are Iranian sleeper cells that are going to be activated in the United States in the coming days and weeks. Who is going to activate them? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I don't even know if to qualify this as cope. Why are you posting this? High probability that Iran will activate terrorist sleeper cells within the United States. No, they just killed their leader. What is this? Who believes this? Where are they? Where are they? This is retarded, man. This is so stupid. All right, whatever. This is so stupid. Let's move on. Let's get over here to AI Telly, man. So they dropped 2 videos. Yeah, Eve says he'll sell more lemongrass pills. Yeah, it'll be some fucking bullshit supplement thing. My God. So we've been watching a lot of AI Telly on this channel because it's great. They released 2 videos today. This one was 17 hours ago called U.S. Strikes Iran Using 2 Aircraft Carrier Explained. And then How the U.S. and Israel Strikes Iran Detailed Timeline. I think we can just go with the second one. Okay. Let's watch here. How you doing, Full Hat? I see you, buddy.
They did great.
Full Hat, I think you would like Mike John. By the way, I've already seen this, but I think it's worth showing you guys because this is the most accurate news source that I've seen for military stuff because everything we've seen on here has been proven correct.
How did the U.S. and Israel launch a preemptive strike against Iran? Well, they used a devastating tactic called time on target. With 2 aircraft carriers and a fleet of destroyers, they calculated the exact math so Israeli jets and U.S. cruise missiles hit their marks at the exact same second. Israel's main goal is assassinating Khamenei and the top leadership, while the U.S. pounded military targets and other high-value industry. But why did Iranian air defenses fail to activate? Because the U.S. fights with a different kind of technology using electronic warfare from space, sea, and air. They completely blinded the Iranian radar just as destroyers launched a swarm of cruise missiles to wipe out the anti-air systems. But wait, the war is still not over. Iran still has thousands of ballistic missiles and drones, so they hit American and Middle East allied bases, and right now, almost everyone is an open target. On February 28, 2026, the United States and Israel launched a major coordinated military offensive against Iran. Israeli officials have called their offensive Operation Roar of the Lion, while the U.S. operation has been referred to as Operation Epic Fury.
Epic Fury. Which, I don't know how they name these operations, but Urgent Fury was Panama. So, pretty crazy.
The message behind the Israel and U.S. strike was clear. This wasn't just a show of force. This was a targeted move to assassinate the Supreme Leader.
And APK, I don't think so. I don't think that they would fake the death of the Supreme Leader because it would have religious and political implications. That if you go back on that, it is kind of... Because they are grounded by the actual reality that this is like killing a pope. And if you kill the pope and say he's dead, and then you're like, well, he's not actually dead, we're just going to say he's dead, I think you would cause massive schizophrenia. Now, you could say they don't care, and that's probably true, but they are so stupid that I don't even see them lying about this kind of stuff, APK, personally.
Of Iran has stated this wasn't just a random military strike. The ultimate target was the Supreme Leader's own compound. Missiles dialed in on highly sensitive areas. We're talking specifically around University Street, the Jamhuri District, and near Pastor Street. If you know the layout of Tehran, you know exactly what this means. This zone isn't just another neighborhood. It is the absolute nerve center of the Iranian government. It houses the primary, day-to-day offices of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. But here's the catch. The IDF says they got him. An Iranian military says Khamenei was not inside his offices when the missiles actually made an impact. The strike may have leveled the compound, but the target slipped away. And right now, the entire region is holding its...
We have him confirmed. They released this before Iran confirmed that he's dead. So he's dead.
Breath waiting to see what happens next. But reports says Israel says Khamenei's body has been found and he's confirmed dead. Listen, that first wave, it didn't hold back, not even a little. We're talking about a perfectly synchronized, overwhelming assault. The entire goal was to blind and cripple the regime all at once. First, they hit Karaj, just completely ripping through their critical industrial and aerospace hubs. Then, Tehran, the capital, rocked. Any illusion of safety they had was just completely shattered. They didn't stop there. They struck Qom, sending absolute shockwaves right through the ideological heart of the country. And if you follow this stuff, you know
By the way, this whole operation, I thought about it this morning. This actually makes Saddam Hussein look less like a pussy. It actually makes him look more badass. These people had mountains, oceans, everything to protect themselves. In addition to sophisticated military equipment, Saddam was out there with a fucking sword and a musket, and he was able to hide for months and months and months. And it took more than like how long did it take? It took him like 3 hours to do this. Saddam, it took like a day or two. These guys, this is the dumbest enemy that could. Honest, George Bush should have attacked these people instead of Iraq. I think we wouldn't have had all this debt and problems if he had gone after them. I'm not speaking about whether they deserve it or not. I'm just saying these people are stupid. The Iraqis were smarter than they were. If you're going to lose, look, they're both going to lose. But the Iraqis lost way different than the Iranians. The Iranians lost fast, and it's embarrassing. It's really embarrassing. And Mr. Elu says, Shahi drones. Yeah, that's the other thing is, how could they still believe in their Shahi drones when America defeated all of them in Venezuela a month ago? And it makes Gaddafi look good too. Yes, Mr. Elu, like, Gaddafi looks smarter than the Iranians right now. At least he got to flee. He wasn't even caught by the Americans. He was caught by the rebels. This is just pathetic. It's pathetic. If you, dude, if you're a leftist, particularly leftists, those are the ones I see defending and crying for these people, you are a pathological loser. What other explanation is there? These people are losers. If you are this grounded and identify with a loser regime like this, then you might as well become a right-winger that loves the Confederacy or something. They love losers too. This is like a human trait of people who love losers. And you saw this also from other people. I'm not saying whether it's good or bad that this happened. I'm just saying I'm not going to cry over some idiots that were this stupid.
Exactly how heavily fortified that area is. Over in the west, missiles literally rained down on Kermanshah. They neutralized those launch sites before the operators could even think about powering up their radars. And then there's Isfahan, the absolute crown jewel of their nuclear and drone programs. Heavily defended, didn't matter, it just lit up the night sky. But how did the US and Israel actually pull off a preemptive strike on Iran? First of all, look at this map. To make this happen, they didn't just rely on local land bases. They brought two massive floating cities right to Iran's doorstep. Down in the Arabian Sea, you've got the USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group bearing down on the south and east. And over in the eastern Mediterranean, the biggest, newest ship, USS Gerald R. Ford. While Israeli jets flew all the way across the Middle East to reach Iranian airspace, timing was absolutely critical. The moment those IDF jets reached their marks, the missiles were released. And that brings us to the most terrifying, complicated part of this entire operation, the synchronization. Military planners rely on a tactic called time on target. Look at this map. You have missiles firing from submarines, cruise missiles launching from escort ships, and massive payload drops from stealth bombers. They're all deploying from completely different locations at entirely different times. But here is the genius of it. The US military machine was mathematically choreographed so everything impacted Kairaj, Tehran, Qom, Kermanshah, and Isfahan at the exact same second the Israeli jets dropped their guided bombs. It was designed to be a total systemic shock and explodes at the same time. A move to collapse the regime instantly. When those munitions finally hit...
How do you defend against this? How do you defend against this? You defend against it by not allowing the boats to be there. But no, I want to negotiate and be a retard. All right. Well, then this is what's going to happen to you, and you're going to die.
It was pure shock and awe. But why did the Iranian air defenses fail to activate? Well, to put it simply, the US military operates in a completely different league. Using a highly advanced mix of electronic warfare and cyber operations, coordinated from space to the ground, the coalition was able to inject false data directly into Iranian radar screens. Top-tier Iranian air defense systems, like their homegrown Baver and their Russian-supplied batteries, were absolutely overwhelmed by this electronic assault.
Invisible jets, hacking, missiles from subs, ships, and planes. You don't stand a chance.
But to actually hunt them down, the U.S. set a brilliant trap. They launched hundreds of ABM-160 MALDs, miniature air-launched decoys. To a panicked Iranian radar operator staring at a chaotic screen, these tiny drones look exactly like a massive squadron of F-15s or F-16s screaming toward the capital. With the door kicked wide open, fifth-generation stealth fighters, including both U.S. and Israeli F-35s with possible F-22 Raptors, sliced through the airspace.
That was crazy. And I suspect they used the F-22 in Venezuela too. This plane, for anyone that doesn't know, it's illegal for you to sell it to any other country. This is the most advanced plane America has ever made. More than the F-35. This is crazy that they use this here. You're not, this thing is not supposed to be used. This is crazy shit, the F-22. You should be scared of this plane. This is a scary fucking plane, dude. Let me look up, let's finish this and I'll look up the F-22. This shit can fly backwards. This is the craziest plane I've seen in my life. I have a buddy that doesn't believe in the F-35. He says, no, dude, they're all F-22s. They call it the F-35 so no one gets scared. They are all F-22s.
Completely undetected. Ultimately, the Iranian air defense network wasn't just suppressed. It was completely dismantled, at least for the time period. Because the Iranian do have a huge firepower. Tehran has fired back. In Operation Truthful Promise 4, a massive wave of missiles and drones just targeted U.S. bases in Israel. Here's the fallout. The UAE's Al Dhafar air base was hit, leaving one dead from shrapnel. In Bahrain, the U.S. Navy's 5th Fleet HQ was directly targeted. Qatar's air defenses successfully wiped out incoming missiles, while Kuwait locked down its entire airspace under heavy fire. Meanwhile, nationwide sirens are blasting across Israel, with massive mid-air interceptions lighting up the skies over Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. If you don't want your phone and emails to get compromised like that, you should get this military.
Great ads, though. Hey, I tell you, I like them. Great ads. So sharp. All right. Let's get back to the video.
To fly all the way to Iran. At 9 in the morning, Israel launched more than a dozen aircraft, but it's a complicated process. They have to navigate or entirely bypass the airspace of neighboring countries like Syria and Iraq. To avoid hostile air defenses, defense analysts estimate the actual flight distance to reach central Iran is between 930 and 1,240 miles each way. Although these routes may seem straightforward, they involve complex planning, including calculations for air refueling and coordinating attack aircraft to pass through Jordan, Syria, and Iraq. Israel and U.S. strategy was to attack Iran in 3 waves. The first
By the way, these guys over here, we don't talk about this issue much. If there's anyone left alive here, you need to give up. Okay? I'm not being mean to you. I'm trying to save your life. You just saw what they can do. You need to give up. You need to leave. You need to move to Europe or something. You cannot stay here. You are not going to win. I don't know how many of them there are left. If you live here, you should fucking leave. These copers will tell you, like Hassan or whatever, no, you can keep fighting or whatever. Leave. I know it sucks. You should leave. You shouldn't be here anymore. You are going to die.
Targeted surface air-to-air sites, radar installations, and Iran's air defense headquarters in Tehran, Elam, and Khuzestan. The second wave focused on destroying ballistic missiles, and finally, the third wave targeted military manufacturing industries. Kicking down the door. The attack begins not with manned aircraft, but with robotic precision from the sea. The goal is simple: blind the enemy's eyes, their radars, and silence their voice, their command and control. In the Persian Gulf and the Northern Arabian Sea, Arleigh Burke-class destroyers, ships like the USS Thomas Hudner, receive the launch order. The vertical launch system cells hiss open, and moments later, dozens of Tomahawk land attack missiles erupt from the decks. These missiles fly at subsonic speeds, humming the terrain in what we call nap of the Earth flight to stay below the radar horizon. They are programmed to loiter and strike simultaneously. Their warheads slam into S-300 and S-400 radar sites and command bunkers. They degrade the integrated air defense system, effectively carving out safe corridors for the pilots who are minutes behind them. 30 minutes past H hour, while the Tomahawks are still impacting, the silver bullets of the U.S. Air Force are already deep inside hostile airspace. These are the B-2 Spirit stealth bombers, with the air defense network fractured by Tomahawk cruise missiles, usually fired from destroyers hundreds of miles away. The path is now clear. Now comes the strategic sites like nuclear bunkers, which can be bombed by B-2 Spirit, the tip of the spear. Launching from bases in Jordan and the UAE, squadrons of F-15 East Strike Eagles roar into the theater. These are the bomb trucks of the operation. Each F-15 is heavily laden with GDMs and small-diameter bombs. Interestingly, it can carry up to 19 GDAMs or 28 small-diameter weapons. While the B-2s hit...
Look at that bomb, dude. Look at that. Look at what they can do.
The deep bunkers, the F-15s hunt the mobile targets. Their 80 SA radars scan the ground for ballistic missile launchers hiding in valleys. Working in pairs, they drop precision bombs on missile convoys, hangars, and secondary command nodes. Once they are Winchester, out of ammo, or low on fuel, they don't go home yet. They connect to this tanker common launch tube that fits into almost any aircraft's existing fuel hatch. They retreat to those tanker tracks established in Phase 1, taking on thousands of pounds of jet fuel in midair before turning back for a second sortie. 2 hours past H hour. To sustain the pressure, the U.S. Navy's floating air bases enter the fight. Cruising in the Arabian Sea, a carrier strike group turns into the wind. Steam and electromagnetic catapults begin launching aircraft every 30 seconds. F/A-18 Super Hornets launch carrying anti-radiation missiles. Their job is DAD, destruction of enemy air defenses. They are hunting down any surviving radar operators foolish enough to turn their systems on. Meanwhile, F-35 Sea Lightning push forward to gather intelligence and strike high-threat targets that the older jets cannot reach. Orbiting far behind them are the E-2D Hawkeyes, the quarterbacks in the sky, managing the massive traffic of hundreds of U.S. jets. By sunrise, the first wave is over. The eyes of the enemy air defense have been blinded by Tomahawks. The heart of the nuclear program has been crushed by B-2s, and the limbs of the missile forces have been severed by F-15 and carrier aircraft. We make original videos from scratch, so please do subscribe.
That's it. I don't know how you defend against that. I don't know how you fight that. You have to be a fucking idiot to think you can fight that. Look at the F-22. Let me show this to you, man. You're going to like this. It's pretty crazy. This is the F-22. This fucking plane, dude. This is a beast of a plane. Let's see this.
Bolt, the US would still keep the edge. And here's why. The jet was built with materials so secret, the factory floor was classified. Its radar signature, smaller than a bird's. And the software, locked tighter than a nuclear vault. But that's not the real reason it's untouchable. The US banned all exports, then shut down the production line. Why? Because the F-22 wasn't just a fighter. It was America's invisible ace, and they made sure no one else would ever have it.
I'll tell you something. That's it. You win if you have that. That's it. If you're in the game and you have that weapon, you win. That's it. What are we gonna do about it? Hey Eddie, how you doing? Hey Gia, how you doing? Hey Mike John, how you doing? Mike John, are you happy? Mike John, I feel like you'd be happy about this whole thing. Let's look at the boomer box. Let's do that. How about that? Where's our clip here? No, that's a modular zone. Where's the boomer box? Dude. Where's our boomer box intro? Well, I find that. Why don't we watch a little bit of Douglas Murray?
Douglas Murray, thank you so much for being with us.
It's a great pleasure to be with you.
I'd love to just get your initial reactions to the strikes this morning.
My first reaction is I'm not surprised by the strikes. I don't think anyone is if they've followed the buildup of forces in the region in recent weeks.
Look at that. Smarter than Dave Smith already. You may disagree with him. They're not going to do it. No. Then here's Douglas Murray telling you, like I did, look at how much shit they have over here. They're going to do something.
I think that what will perhaps have flummoxed some people is something they shouldn't be flummoxed by if they follow the way in which President Trump tends to operate, which is that he says you've got to do X on the count of 3, and then it's rather like that old trick of going 1, 2, 3. He gives a deadline, and when it becomes clear that the person or the country, the regime he's trying to negotiate with is clearly not going to make that deadline, he doesn't wait for them to just keep stringing him along, but just acts. And I think that's what we saw from the statement that he issued in the early hours of this morning. It was clear that he, in his view, had simply that the Iranians were, the Iranian Revolutionary Government were simply stringing him. Boomer alert. And he decided not to be strung along any longer. So,
all right, we're ready. Let me get this. Let me give me 1 second here. Make this look right. We gotta lock this. We've gotta check the audio on it. 1 second. I don't know why this one.
Boomer alert. Boomer alert. Boomer alert. It's 90% bullshit, but it's entertaining.
Mainstream media like Fox and even CNN compete.
You guys are seeing some real boomer tech. All right, we're gonna check the boomer boss. We're gonna go to CNN. Let's play our intro.
Boomer alert. Boomer alert. Boomer alert. It's 90% bullshit, but it's entertaining.
Mainstream media like Fox and even CNN competes for views by running constant 24-hour news cycles based upon fear, division, outrage, and panic, probably to like sell ads.
What are the boomers watching? Let's go to CNN to start, man. I'm curious as to what they're talking about here now. Let's see. All right, let's get this big here. Do we start with CNN? Hang on. Let's do a poll here. Do you guys want to watch Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, Newsmax, News Nation? No, we want to do American stuff. The American stuff. What else have we got? You can do Telemundo if anyone's feeling spicy. Which one? Which one do you guys want to hear first? Fox, CNN, MS Now? Oh, I want to start with CNN, but if anyone wants to hear anyone else, it's going to be torture either way. So, maybe we start with Fox. Let's start with Fox. Let's do that. Let's start with Fox. Sorry, guys, you're watching Fox News now. Let's see what they're doing. Where is it? Mike John says Newsmax. My God, man. Where is it? And I see Srilu saying that it would all be identical. Brother, you know what's crazy is how everyone was behaving so calm when this started. Everyone was behaving so calmly about this. I don't know why Fox doesn't want to work. MSNBC. Why don't we start with MSNBC? The King Leo Network. Someday, sir. Someday. Let's watch here. What do they have to say?
Never made public. It is not clear how many other senior Iranian leaders have also been killed, also part of that succession plan. So there is, the government is still in place. The government is still firing back. But who might be next remains an open question and something of a guessing game across the region at the moment.
Richard, you've lived in the region. It has been your home. You've reported there extensively for NBC News. Tonight, what is the one thing that has surprised you the most since this firing and the attacks have started?
Well, what surprised me most this morning was that this war went regional so quick.
Look at how calm they are. I haven't seen the news this calm in a long time. Very calm. They have kept this same composure. There hasn't been much jubilation. Barry Weiss is not on screen. Look how calm they are. Hair is done. He's wearing the look. You need the look. You need the look with like the press jacket and that blue helmet or whatever. But they're all so calm. Like, please stay calm. We're just in the middle of a war. Israeli military says it's launching a new wave of strikes.
By surprise. I think that was one thing that stood out today. And the other thing I think that you should watch out for is how open-ended this conflict could be. The regime in Iran is deeply unpopular. As you mentioned, I was just in Tehran. Many people to me were openly complaining about the economy, about the repression, about the brutal crackdown. But it is a large country, 90 million people, and it is possible that the regime collapses and the state collapses.
This is literally being said. He's literally describing how the state could collapse, how there could be a refugee crisis, how things, and he's speaking about it in the most calm way possible. Incredibly calm. Oh, this dumb.
The president, what more did he tell you?
Well, Tom, in our short phone call, the president told me the strikes have caused very great losses on their leadership, adding tremendous damage has been inflicted. The people that make all the decisions, most of them are gone. What he couldn't answer, what you were just talking about with Richard, who exactly would replace Iran's supreme leader. The president also revealed the damage came from at least 3 targeted attacks on senior Iranian leaders. And Tom, I asked him, how will he know if the operation has been a success?
Look, and you can tell that this is coordinated in a lot of ways because they are reading the teleprompter as usual, but it is evident that they're reading the teleprompter. Look at her eyes. It is incredibly evident that she's reading the teleprompter. No one's going off script here. No one's going off script. They're usually good at hiding this, but they have to make sure they're getting it to the letter. What is this woman's name again? I hate this lady. All right. MSNBC, very calm, very calm. Should we go to CNN or should we go to Newsmax? Let's go to Newsmax for Mike John. How about that? Let's check out Newsmax. We watch this sometime.
In tandem, truly in harmony by 2 allies, the United States and Israel. Your reaction to this, but also a little bit what needed to go into the planning in order to pull this off as seemingly flawlessly as we have observed.
Good evening from...
So we see here Newsmax, the Chiron is leading with the casualties. Not in Iran, in Israel. 120 dead in Israel or hurt. Good to know. Thank you, Newsmax. Let's watch a little here.
Timing of this, the counterterrorism.
And they're interviewing the president of the Jerusalem Center for Security Studies. All right.
Israel has been absolutely meticulous. Prime Minister Netanyahu, the only foreign leader to visit the White House 7 times in the last 12 months. He and President Trump are completely and totally coordinated strategically and tactically, and that's what this type of operation requires. This is a regime that began this war 47 years ago against the United States with the kidnapping.
Our super straight soldier has spoken. Hegseth. U.S. didn't start the conflict, but it will finish it. Let's go. You better get to that recruiting office right now, man. We're going to finish it.
So this is an ongoing war that both President Trump, Prime Minister Netanyahu decided enough is enough. We are going to end the forever war. And that's exactly what has happened with the killing of Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei, who is responsible himself for the killing of over 1,000 Americans and many thousands of Israelis. And that now has come to an end. You've seen the celebration of the Iranian people in the streets of Iran, as well as in London and other capitals in the West.
And this is big time different from what happened last summer with the B-2 strike. That was basically against nuclear facilities. This is against command and control. This is against anybody really in authority. And they got the big one, Ayatollah Khamenei, only the second supreme leader of Iran, right behind Khomeini. I remember when these guys first showed up, Khomeini and Khamenei, and that's how you tell them apart with the pronunciation. Tell us just what a big deal this is, and I don't feel it's necessarily getting enough attention. In the very first day,
I'm glad I see that Gia is saying that. That was a really clever spin there. That, first of all, look at the wording there. This is an important person, I presume, the head of security studies in Jerusalem. President Trump and Netanyahu decided they wanted to put an end to the forever wars. So doing the war with Iran is actually ending the forever wars. Dude, their brains are not made for us, man. Benjamin Netanyahu, if you can hear me, please send me $1 million, bro. Please, Benjamin Netanyahu. These people, their brains are not made for us. Could you ever have thought of saying that? Listen, in order to end the forever wars, we need to do one more war. Like, that is a good one. That's a good one. I'm impressed with that one. I saw you guys talking about the market too. I think that this is going to be relatively good for the market in the long term if this all sorts out in the right way. Because Iranian oil, unlike Venezuelan oil, is actually good, and they actually have extraction. And if the United States is going to allow this onto the open market, dude, this is gonna be a game changer over here. Everything is being guided with like cheapening energy, making energy cheaper, cheaper, and cheaper. All right. Let's go to CNN. Why not? Why not? Let's go to CNN. Let's see what CNN is. Oh no, they're on break. Why isn't Fox News working, man? Let me see. Fox News 2 is supposed to work. See if it loads. To end the forever wars, you should use that excuse.
Now to take back their
Oh,
country.
Pompeo, let's
And
see. Ozempic's
America's
Pompeo.
help is now here. Seize the moment. Don't let it pass. Likely the one chance you will have in generations. I agree completely with the president. This is a moment of opportunity for the people of Iran, those students, those young people that were slaughtered in the streets, those that have survived. This is their moment. This is it. And they may not get another one.
Sean, importantly, I think they're hearing that as well. Just as they heard the president say that help is on the way and it's now been delivered, I think they are listening intently to President Trump. They are counting on the United States to lead, and they're looking forward to support from their Gulf Arab allies and neighbors as well to give them that very opportunity. We can take down the instruments of terror that they've inflicted on their own people. That's something that we can do. They'll have to do the rest from the inside. And I too believe that there are leaders there inside that country that can deliver that. And it may not be straightforward, and it may not be on a timeline that we'd all prefer, but I am confident with continued American effort, continued American leadership, we can give them that opportunity, and that the people of Iran, whether they're Persian or other ethnicities, are going to want that for themselves, and they'll find their way there in a way that Iranians have done for so long.
Yeah. Secretary Pompeo, great to have you. Loved your piece. I read it in full.
I don't understand why Pompeo is still seen as this guru, given that Trump and him hate each other. But all right, they're leaving it up to the actual people of Iran. And he mentioned the different ethnicities, so I guess that means assume some civil strife is coming for Iran, as there is a power grab there.
You have been in the Situation Room. You've been there when President Trump is, we go back to his first term, and I've referred to this often because the Trump doctrine is not isolationism. The Trump doctrine took out the ISIS caliphate, Soleimani, Baghdadi, his associates. He dropped the mother of all bombs on Afghanistan. Then this term, taking out their nuclear sites, and what we saw today, the supreme leader, 40 of their top leaders taken out. Bring people inside that room in that moment.
Well, yeah, Sean, thank you. I would say the one takeaway I had in a major way in working with the president is that
I haven't heard this name in centuries. Reince Priebus. Wow, that's a blast from the past.
Strategically cautious. I look back at that time in the first year. You talk about the air.
Look at that. Iranian state media confirms the IRGC commander and top advisor is killed in the strikes. Dude, they're fucked, man.
That first year, we had the Mueller investigation. We had tax cuts. We had executive orders. We had Comey. All these things were going on. If I could picture this for everybody, it was the one few times in the White House where time seems to have sat still, where it didn't matter.
But notice again, we've seen this on Newsmax as well and MSNBC. You would expect Fox News to be celebrating. You expect confetti. You expect glitter bombs, all this. Why is everyone so calm? Everyone is so chilled out. It's the adults in the room. It's very reminiscent of the Obama administration. Everyone is just chill. No one's looking at anything crazy. Sean Hannity is a lot quieter than usual. Everyone just calmed down. There was a war with Iran. Things will work out. There's going to be ethnicities that might end up fighting each other, but it's going to be okay. Great stuff. And let's see CNN now. If CNN is back. CNN's back.
because of the death of at the hands of the U.S. and Israel of Khomeini. What do you think that would look like? Who would they be going after? What do you think the response will look like?
Well, it's going to be more of the same when it comes to the missiles and drones and such that you're attacking. Clearly, they're sending those in waves, and they've learned from the last time they attacked Israel in the previous attack. They've learned that there are ways and techniques they can use that can potentially get through the defenses. But as you can see, they're not. And then there's a couple other pieces to this, as you can imagine. We have forces there to defend both Israel in pretty good numbers, and we also have forces to help defend our allies, significantly bolstered from where we were before. And the idea is they continue to blunt while the U.S. and the Israels continue to attack any
the heaviest offensive yet.
missiles or
Iran is vowing for the heaviest offensive yet. What are we talking about, man? What are we talking about? This is just silly. These people are silly. If you support Iran, you are silly. Iran vows heaviest offensive yet. They destroyed all of your sand pads, all of your man pads. If Fouad is correct, your Navy. They killed your top guy. What are you talking about? Cope.
now, and potentially some sleeper cells they have in places where they can have attacks made against you can call those what would be more traditional terrorist type attacks that are unleashed if they could make that happen.
I mean, would you be expecting things also like cyber attacks as well, not just the sort of physical attacks?
And absolutely, that's what they'll try to do. But as you can see, what the U.S. and Israel has done has been very proactive in that by going after the Israelis' command and control and the places and ways in which they can conduct those cyber attacks. If you know how the Iranians can unleash that, you can imagine the United States would also have ways that they can blunt those that you're not hearing talked about because we wouldn't.
Yeah,
but yes,
we did.
I'm surprised to see, and I see Eddie mentioned it too, that CNN is pushing this sleeper cell crap too. There are no, I don't want to look like Andrew Tate, dude. I don't think there's Persian sleeper cells in Miami that are going to go attack Turkey Point. I have trouble believing that the people who are this stupid to have allowed all of this to happen have sleeper cells that are competent enough and loyal enough in the United States and Europe. Also, I think that this just plays on the Western conception of Islam. Jihadism, this is not really something that comes out of Shiaism. Shia jihadism is ridiculous. It doesn't happen. Sure, there's like Shia suicide bombers, but that's another thing. This is ridiculous. This is a joke. Oh my God. What else have we got? We got any other channels to check out here that's worth checking out? Well, let's check out local news. Are they talking about this? You guys want to check Telemundo? Let's check Telemundo out. What are they doing? The fuck is this? Bro, they're talking about the Nintendo Switch on Telemundo right now. Excuse me. Hey, retard, it's World War III.
No, lo puedes jugar. Simplemente es que después de un tiempo que estás ahí bastante, pues.
Dude, Puerto Ricans are talking about the Nintendo Switch on Telemundo while the world blows up. Like, this is why my people are not going to win, bro. What site is this? Is U Free TV. U, like the letter U. What is Univision?
Sí, la recomendación es primero es algo bastante nuevo, o sea que no hay un
Dude, and Univision is talking about furries in Latin America. Dude, we are retarded. We are a retarded people.
Donde haya tal vez terapia de familia, donde se puedan sentar estos chicos con sus familiares para poder hablar sobre esto.
Bro. No. The Hispanics, man. No. You're talking about furries and fucking Nintendo Switch. This is insane, man. This is crazy. Everything says Trump is 2-0 against his ops, dude. And he's going to continue to be. This is... The rest of the world is covering furries and the Nintendo Switch. This is crazy. I know everything says the Nintendo Switch is the next super weapon, right? Yeah. You guys want to? Let's look at what Cuban State TV is doing. How about that? That would be on YouTube, I think. Marti TV is one of them. What is it? Cuban State TV. What are they covering right now? It's probably gonna be retarded. Coalición. Let's see. Let's see if I can find this on YouTube, man. Coalición en vivo. Let's see. En vivo. Let's see what the Cubans are up and talking about, man. I don't see a live channel. What else do they have? We have Telesur as well that we could check, but that one's fucked. What is Cuban State TV? Where is it, man? What was this one called? Caribe. Caribe. Let's see. Caribe en vivo. Dude, they're talking about local Cuban news. They're talking about baseball. They're talking about baseball on the Cuban team. Bro, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. TV Cubana. Let's see if it's en vivo. Is there any of them live right now?
84.
This isn't live. Cuba News, the 27th. Let me see. Cuba Visión. Do they have anything from today? Cuba Weekend News. Let's see what Cuba Weekend News is doing.
Saludos desde La Habana. Es sábado 28 de febrero de 2026. Yo soy Claudia Odette y de inmediato le presento los titulares de esta emisión.
She's about to say what the stories are.
Autoridades cubanas condenan ataque de los gobiernos de Israel y Estados Unidos contra Irán este 28
The Cuban government has condemned the Israeli and U.S. attacks.
de febrero. Nueva ayuda procedente de México con cerca de 1.200 toneladas llegó a la capital cubana. Gesto
Mexican aid is arriving to Havana. Bro, you
solidario del pueblo y gobierno azteca que reafirma los lazos históricos entre ambas naciones. 10ª edición del Festival de la Salsa inició en la capital cubana con la
The Salsa Festival in Havana. Brother, you are going to die. You are going to die. You are going to die. You're talking about the Salsa Festival on the news. It's, bro, my people, man. They're talking about the Salsa. And everything says Cuba. Chuckle, I'm in danger. Dude, yeah, this is the 10th edition of the Salsa Festival in Cuba.
Presentación de reconocidas agrupaciones musicales. Miguel Díaz-Canel Bermúdez condenó la agresión iniciada esta madrugada por los Estados Unidos contra Irán y denunció los nefastos efectos que está teniendo ya.
Díaz-Canel condemned the attacks and their effects. Bro, this is ridiculous.
Nacional no se ha hecho esperar ante este ataque de Estados Unidos e Israel contra Irán. Por eso les proponemos un resumen de algunos de los pronunciamientos. Veamos.
En América Latina las críticas han sido contundentes.
They're covering the tweets of the president, condemning it. That's what they're covering. That's what they're covering for this. The tweets. The tweets. Oh, thank you. Is Telesur covering anything? Telesur live. Let's see what the Venezuelans are saying.
cosa que no fue cierto, y que habían capturado a prácticamente todos los mandos del país. Eso fue una lección para ahora darnos cuenta.
También nos estabas manifestando que existen movimientos que han sido...
All right, I guess they're covering it. Look at this. They wrote Iran in like Arab script. That's crazy, man. What Telesur? At least Telesur is covering it.
La preocupación en torno a la...
These people are fucked, man. It's over. Over. All right. My producer, I think we're going to get out of here, dude. Yeah, pee and stuff. But my producer wanted me to play you guys something here that he found. Let's watch here. I think the anime fans will enjoy this. Let's check this out. This was made recently. Some new slop. Let's watch.
そう、中東での長期化した紛争は中国に台湾へ動く隙を与えかねない。全てを遅れ、一撃で終わらせる。体制を切り落とす。
アメリカは間もなく攻撃に踏み切る。狙いは体制の背骨を折ることだ。その攻撃は長くは続かない。
他の勢力はどうだ。あの規模の反応に我々は備えがあるのか。
モスクワは語り、北京は見守る。どちらもテヘランのために血を流すことはない。重要なのは革命防衛隊がつまずいた後、何が空白を埋めるかだ。
君たちのアイアンドームが持ちこたえる限り、私は移行期を引き継ぐ準備ができている。
忘れるな、プリンスレザー。無名の淵から君を引き上げたのは我々だ。アイアンドームはこれらの野蛮人に対しイスラエルの防衛線を守り抜いてきた。そしてこれからもそうする。それは破られない。
Pretty accurate. Pretty accurate. I hate everything says absolute cinema. Dude, it's over, man. Why is she aura farming so hard? Look at that, Billy. You think we'll watch, dude? The Chinese man. Chinese man, dude. This is the worst ally you could have, man. Worst ally right now. Because they're right. He just wants to do business. What's this? Well, all right, everyone. I'm glad that it's the end of the show, man. I'm glad that I'm in the country that it has the invisible planes. It has the missiles, and I have we have everything. Oh, I'm sorry, you weren't born here. My bad. Sorry, your parents weren't smart enough. Sorry. You know, up until last year, your parents could show up and they could push you out and you would be a citizen. Okay, that's how it worked. And now you're not. But my parents were smart enough that they went, oh yeah, no, we're going to have the kid here. And you didn't. And that's why you're screwed, because you didn't do it. So you needed to have done that so you could have the benefits of invisible planes. My producer setting this here too. Let's check this out. When the Goyim start citing international law. When Hassan starts citing international law, you got to hit him with the Jeffrey Epstein. You got to hit him with that. Excuse me. What are you talking about? We have the invisible plane. What are you going to, what? Great stuff, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you weren't born in America. I'm sorry you're not an American like me. I bet it feels really bad to not be an American right now. Oh, I'm sorry. You're French? I'm sorry. You don't have the invisible plane. But I do. I do. You have free healthcare. I don't care because I can take that away from you if I want to. So I'm sorry. Until I get my Spanish passport, of course, and then I will be a refined child of Yakub Spaniard within 2 months. But for now, I'm an American. What are you gonna do? Sorry, your parents were stupid. My parents immigrated here legally, but you could have even done it illegally, and then you would have the benefit of being under the protection of America. If I get kidnapped in your country, they're going to send the Navy SEALs after me, and you are going to die. Sorry that you were born in Ghana. That sucks, man. Sorry you were born in Venezuela. I'm sorry you're Mexican. That's so sad. Should have been smarter. Should have been smart. Oh, you're Brazilian? I'm sorry. Sorry, dude. I'm American. My country's kind of like the one with the best technology, and yours is the one with the worst. Yours is the worst one. I'm the best. What do you guys have for technology? Shaking ass? We shake some ass too, but we also have, I don't know, the invisible plane. You have bananas? Oh, that's cool. Well, we have this plane that you can't see and will bomb you. So, I'm sorry. I had everything says the power of the new Giga Chad Super Straight Military. Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, I'm sorry. You're Japanese? Well, I have Pete Hegseth over here, and he's a psycho-alcoholic who will bomb you. So why don't you calm down? And you should try to be born over here and pick the winning team. You should get on the winning team. Oh, you don't want to be on the winning team? Okay, then Hassan, why don't you go move somewhere where it's the losing team? But I want to be on the winning team because I identify with a winner because I'm not a cuck. So, all right, everyone, that's it. I guess this was Black History Month. We didn't have really a black man of the day, black person of the day, but it's probably the actual last Black History Month stream, unless tomorrow something crazy happens. But I appreciate everyone tuning in, man. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you're new here, like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate the super chats, Eves and Dane. Very nice. Very nice, guys. Glad you guys enjoyed. I hope that if you're butthurt from this because you are too stupid to see what analysis is, then you're stupid. So that's just that. Actually, 1 second here, man. My producer's sending something else. What's going on? Netanyahu is the black person of the day. Absolutely, Mr. Elo. Hang on. Let's see here. One last thing. Oh my God, bro. Ahmadinejad is here. Former president of Iran. By the way, every Venezuelan is so happy because every Venezuelan hates Ahmadinejad. Let's see what he has to say here. Is this in Persian?
İran'daki seçim için adaylığı reddedilen Mahmut Ahmadinejad ifşaatlarına devam ediyor.
I can't believe this guy's still alive. CNN Turkey. Iran's Secret Service had established a unit to target Mossad agents within Iran. However, the head of this unit turned out to be a Mossad operative himself. Along with 20 other agents. This is what Israel can do when they get some hard men.
I like to get a bunch of men together.
Okay.
Men that are the hardest of the hard. And I want to be with these men.
I can't believe it, man. I can't believe it. How pathetic. How pathetic. If you root for these guys, you like being a loser. How about this? If you want Iran to win, or if you think that they deserve to win, why don't you send me all your money, Hassan? Why don't you do that? Because you want to be a loser. If you want to be homeless and a loser in the street, then how about that? You know, because you're a loser. Dude, this is crazy, man. It's crazy. But yeah, I guess for our Black History Month, our last black person of the day. Let's do it. Let's do it properly.
You have to think, young brother, about your future.
Take it from me, someday we'll all be free.
Is going to be Benjamin Netanyahu, man. Why is that? Because, bro, this guy, he fights like a guy in prison, dude. This is the scariest guy in the world, bro. It's so hard to cut through all the haters. Let me see if there's an AI Netanyahu. We had one a while back. Should have saved it. This man is just a genius, man. Let's play this. Let's play this. Look at this. Netanyahu wants Western men to go fight a war with Iran. Will you die for Israel? March 7th, 2025. Well, buddy, guess what? Seems like no one died for Israel, and Israel still wins.
In the Middle East, Iran's axis of terror confronts America, Israel, and our Arab friends. This is not a clash of civilizations. It's a clash between barbarism and civilization.
I really hope he does a Lenny Bruce special, man. I really like when he
You have to think, young brother, about your
when he does the comedian bit. All right, everyone. Happy Black History Century. Dude, tonight, it's still early, man. I'm going to go do some shit. Before you hit that nightclub, before you get out there to find some good girl or a good guy, drop a little prayer to Netanyahu. I mean, he's the one who can help you on this realm. Benjamin Netanyahu, help me get laid tonight. You know, maybe it'll work. I don't know. It seems like he can deliver. You know, go out there, go to the nightclub. Benjamin Netanyahu, can you help me have the flyest moves on the dance floor? Maybe it'll work. I don't know. All right, everyone. Happy Black History Century. And I will see you guys on Tuesday unless anything crazy happens.
Change the world. My final message. Goodbye. Change the world. My final message. Goodbye. Change the world. My final message. Goodbye. Change the world. My final message. Goodbye. Change the world. My final message. Goodbye. Change the world. My final message. Goodbye. Change the world. My final message. Goodbye. Change